What is up, people? This is the Oracle, and today I'm going to be recording an Amonkhet draft for the mana base. I encourage you to check out their YouTube channel, their website, and their Facebook page. Links should be down below in the description. They are currently running a logo contest, so if you feel like doing that, you can check this out. There is a Modern Master box that can be won. And yeah, I think that's it for the mana base. Most of you probably don't know me, so very briefly, because we are going to be drafting. I am a Swiss student. I've been playing Magic for a little bit more than 12 years now, and what I love to do in this game is drafting and playing limited as a whole. So what I will be doing for the mana base is draft video plus the 3 matches. And this will be uploaded every Tuesday on their website and YouTube channel from now on. Now, if you'd like to see more of these, if you'll enjoy that video, I encourage you to check out my YouTube channel where you might find more of these. And otherwise, there's plenty of content creators that are doing great stuff on the mana base. And if you like modern, pauper, frontier, anything, just check that out. This is actually my second Amonkhet draft. I've done one draft and one sealed and one two-headed giant sealed. So I have a little bit of experience, but not too much, and we'll see how it goes. Definitely my first draft online, if anything. So Heaven, Earth seems very good. Basically, lets you wrath the board pretty much. You kind of have to be green-red because the most important part of the card is the green one. And you have to cast the green one before you can play the red one, which is probably slightly stronger. Decimator Beetle is very strong. That card is very, very strong. Basically a 4/5 that will let you put counters, -1 counters on your opponent's creature. This card is pretty bad. I'm not going to pick it. Steer the Sands is very good, very solid. And I think that's it for the 3 best cards here. I'm not exactly sure which one is better, but they are all better than the common, for sure. I think I'm gonna go with Beetle. That card has impressed me a lot. I think it's very strong, and green as a whole is good in this set. I think very good. And the -1 token theme is very, very solid. I think I could see the red-green Wrath effect being better, but I'm not even sure. This is double colored, but very, very good again. I've been extremely impressed with that card so far. Here we don't have a ton of things. Cartouche of Ambition is pretty good. I like that card at this amount. I might just pick it. I'm not sure what this does. Okay. Yeah. I just don't think this is good enough. This seems very slow and clunky. Commit Memory is decent, but I don't think it's good enough where we want to go blue for that. Basically, you get to counter something, put it in their library, and then you get basically a Wheel of Fortune later on. I think it's fine. I don't think it's great. Gift is just extra mana. It's not amazing. The bat is not so strong, and I don't think Sixth Sense is very good. Lets you draw each time your creature deals damage. Alright, Gale Strike is a card I do like at this amount. Basically, you get to bounce a tap creature and draw a card. It's efficient, cheap, and decent, especially since there are some pretty good enchantment in this set. It also happens to kill Embalmed creature, so if they get back something, it's gonna come as a token, like this cat, and then you can just basically kill it with the strike and get a free card. Minotaur is fine, though not super exciting. If we talk about the green-black cards. Pacemaker Initiate I think is pretty good, but I don't think we are doing that today. Brawler is decent, 3/2 for 3, and then you can exert to get it through a bigger creature and get some damage. I think Sandworm is pretty good. I'm happy to run a couple of these in my deck. It's just good in the late game, and you can cycle it if things goes wrong. Shot is fine, but I think slightly weaker than the 2 cards. I think these are the option. I'm gonna go with Brawler. I'm not entirely sure that it's better than the Worm. I think both cards are solid feelers basically. Alright. Even Initiate I think is very, very good and exactly the type of thing I want to be doing in this set. It's a good card, good body, very fine on curve, and then you can get some card advantage later. Battlefield Scavenger is fine, but I don't think great. I think it's just weaker than Initiate. Colossapede, it's fine, but nothing too crazy or too fancy. Not a huge fan of Stamina. Get to +2/+0 creature, and when it dies, you get it back. It's fine with Enter the Battlefield effects. Not so great otherwise. Unburden is fine, but replaceable. Mind Rot with cycling. I think I might just pick the Initiate and see if blue is open, because none of the green or black card in the pack we saw were extremely exciting or very good, I think. Giant Spider is always fine. I've been pretty impressed by 4 toughness creature in this set. They tend to block quite a bit of things. A lot of the early game has easily 3 power, not so easily more. It's probably fine. Shadowstorm Vizier is quite good, I would assume, but I'm not sure we want to pick that here. If we can stay black-green, I'd be happy. The Wasteland Scorpion, I think is very solid. Just blocks any ground creature and trades. It can attack through bigger things and you can cycle it. I think it's just very fine. I do believe the Scorpion is better than the Spider. Again, this is my first draft online, second draft ever, so I might make some picks that I would not make later on, but I think Scorpion is it's never gonna be bad. It's completely fine. Spider, I don't know. I'm not even sure if the Spider has an upside over the 2/2 Death Touch body, even if you don't put cycling into the equation. Man, there's another Vizier. And Winds of Rebuke, which is fine. Bounce effects are better than they are in other sets here because of Emball. You get to kill token. This card is pretty good, but I don't think we are going red. I've been unimpressed with Fan Bearer. I think 2 mana is quite a lot for this effect. I don't think it's bad, I don't think it's great though. I think I'm just gonna pick probably Wind actually. It was Wind or Vizier. I think you want to pick one of these 2 cards. Horror of the Broken Land I think is very good. It's very fine at 5, quite threatening, can deal a lot of damage, and you can cycle early on if you cannot get there. I definitely like that card quite a lot. And I guess that's about it. I'm not sure how good Bonetooth's Monument is. I'm not a big fan of that, but I could see that card being fine. Again, this is something you need to test and play with before you know if it's good or not, if you really want this type of draining effect. I'm just gonna pick the Horror though. I've been pleased with that card, and again, it's just solid. You cannot go wrong with a solid big creature in the late game that you can cycle early on if you cannot cast it. Lay Bare the Heart, I think it's fine. Not something I would pick very highly, but a fine playable. Get to discard anything that's not legendary or land. The issue is that most of discard effect you might want to side in because they have a huge bomb that you want to deal with, and a decent amount of bomb rare are legendary, so might not be the best answer. I think it's still fine though. Runa's Monument might be better than Bonetooth's Monument, though I'm not sure. Not a big fan. I'm just gonna pick the Trick here, which is fine. It's basically +2/+2, and if you happen to have a couple -1 synergies, it might even be, a little bit like Giant Growth. We're probably just picking Dissenter's Deliverance here, which is a fine sideboard option. Nothing else I really like. Initiate Companion I think is fine to drop. It's not overly exciting, but very playable. Gift is decent. It kind of depends on our curve and what we want to be doing, but getting to play the 5 drops, which in black-green are really strong and fat, 1 turn earlier could be good. I'm not sure how much the black-green deck wants a 3/1 for 2. I think the gift might just be better. Not even considering, that we could splash or anything. I think this just might be I think I'd rather be ramping into my 5 drop than dropping some random 2 drop that are weak to cards like Cartouche of Ambition or any 1 damage spell. Nothing I really like here. Could see playing Sixth Fence maybe, but I assume we will not be doing that. I don't mind Cradle of the Accursed. I think it's fine. It really depends on your mana base. If it's good enough, I'm fine running 1 of these. If it's not good enough, then you probably don't want to play it. But it's, a 2/2 body is it's significant value. It's not irrelevant. Might play it. Fling is pretty good. Surprised to see that going this late. Benefaction of Ronasts, I don't think is very good. Unless we get some more enchantment, I will probably not run that. You get to look at 5 cards and pick an enchantment and or creature. If you get a 2-for-1, it's fine. It's not super exciting otherwise. So we're probably black-green, I think. And right now I don't have any 2-drop. Alright, Archfiend of Archfiend of Ifnir is pretty busted. Seems very good. Even if somehow you're mana screwed, you can cycle it. There's nothing that can really go wrong with that card. It's just great. I'm gonna peek it. Now, Crocodile of the Crossing is insane. 5/4 haste for 4 mana, and you put a counter on something. So, worst case scenario, it's a 4/3 haste for 4, which is already a great deal in limited. And then it's pretty much a 4/3 haste for 4 with an upside. You cannot. I mean, it's almost the power level of a rare. It's very, very good. Still think the Archfiend is better, but that card is quite busted. The Kudu is fine. Not super exciting, but again, there are some synergies with those -1 counter, and it's perfectly fine 3-drop for this deck. Javelineer is good, but we are not black-red, obviously. Electrify is a good removal. Brawler probably decent if you're aggressive, but we have pretty easy pick in Archfiend, I think. Alright, what do we have here? I think all the cycling land are very good. If I have one of the 2 color, I would always play them. If I don't have any color, I'm not sure. I would probably still play, because this is such a powerful ability, and I think you should pick them pretty highly. Here, I'm not sure I'm going to pick it, though, because we have some other powerful option. There's another Cartouche. Final Reward is great, and you don't have a ton of, unconditional removal in the set. This one is very good. Gets rid of Embalmed creatures forever. You can also kill a god with that, which is relevant, maybe, if your opponent had been lucky enough to get one. Brawler is fine, not super exciting. I think Howler would be my next best option after the Final Reward. We don't have 4-drop, it's a solid 4-drop, it's synergized with the -1 counters. Creature we already have, and some that we might get later. It's just a very solid card. I do think that Reward is slightly more important and slightly better, though. Alright, nothing truly great for us here. A couple of good blue cards. This gets bigger, for instance, and Sorcery is solid if you are blue-red. Trial of Knowledge I think is very good. Draw 3, discard 1. If you get a Cartouche, you can just, do it again. Very solid card. Shred Weakness I think is fine. We already have 1. I don't think I want to run a lot of these. I could see playing 2, but it's not super exciting. I might just pick the Sandworm. I think I'll be happy if I have 1 Sandworm in my deck. And cycling, once you have the Archfiend, also gets better, and we already have the Horror, which can take advantage of cycling. I will probably not play 2 or more of these, but 1 is perfectly fine, I think. And there's not a ton of other things. I think the first Sandworm is better than second Shed Weakness. Another Scorpion. I don't mind picking that. Currently our curve is not looking amazing, but remember that a decent amount of our cards we can cycle, which makes things a bit easier. Now I could see picking 2-drops a bit higher from now on, but I think the Mummy, for example, is way too bad to be picked over the Scorpion. Since we are trying to ramp to 5-drops, could see the Cultivator being decent. I haven't played with or against the card yet a lot. I don't know. I think it's fine. It blocks early on, stops aggression, then you can just ramp. A bit like Sakura Tribalder, but worse. But it can block a little bit better if you don't need the land. I think we still pick Scorpion over that, though. Okay. 5-drop is not exactly what we want right now. Best card in the pack is probably Magma Spray. Card has always been good, and with Embalm in this set, exiling is really relevant. It's extremely solid. Again, not a huge fan of Monument, and right now it looks like we are trying to ramp into bigger stuff and not really play a bunch of creatures and boost them and try to go aggro. Though I guess this does help you ramp because it reduces the cost of green creature. Not a big fan though. I think Soul Stinger is better. It's a fine card on its own. 2/3 that's gonna put 2 counter on a creature when it dies. And if you have a couple synergies with counter, it's great. You can just, drop your Beetle, for example, and put the counter on the Stinger, so the Beetle is bigger, and you don't mind putting a counter on that because, it's gonna redistribute the counter afterwards. So it's just solid 4-drop for this deck. I think I like Kudu more than Brawler and Spider, especially after picking the Soul Stinger. I think we'll be trying to do that. I would be picking even a medium 2-drop over any of these because we need to care a little bit about the curve, but there's no such thing, so we'll just pick the Kudu. Pitiless Vizier is very good. I've been extremely impressed with that card. It's very hard to block, very annoying to play against, and we already have kind of a cycling theme with the Archfiend, the Horror, 2 Scorpion, and Sandworm, so it just fits the curve and the deck pretty well. Cool. I don't really think I will ever play 2 Cradles or 2 Deliverance for that matter. I will probably not even main deck 1. I'm not sure what this is doing here. That card is great. You get to pay 6 mana basically and deal 4 to a creature, 4 to a player. It's just very good. I have no idea what it's doing here. It should never go this late. I really don't know. It's not really something you can splash for though, because you need to cast both spells at the same turn for it to be really good. So I don't think we'll be picking. I'm just gonna pick the land. It looks pretty sweet, and again, I don't see myself splashing for a double red card. There's another Kudu. There's Electrify, pretty late. I don't think I'll be splashing, but I'm not thrilled about yet another 3-drop. We have quite a bit of these. I might just pick Electrify. Like, if we don't have enough Rainfall and if we get enough fixing, I might just splash for that. The second Kudu and 7th 3-drop doesn't seem very exciting to me. I think we might just want the Cultivator here over the medium 3-drop again. We need to worry a little bit about the curve. We might want to splash for stuff, and we need to make sure we don't just die in the early game. Nothing's good here. I guess Those Who Serve is the best card, but we'll not be playing that. We got another Cultivator, which I think is not bad actually. I'm not entirely sure how good this card is. I think it's fine though. Can it fetch Desert like the uncommon that you can cycle? Nope, just a basic land. Because the uncommon that it's a 6/5 for 6. You can cycle it for 4. When you cycle it, you get to search a desert or a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tapped. It's very good, obviously. And I was wondering if you could do the same with the Cultivator. Sandworm Convergence is busted. It's 8 mana, but it's pretty much game over once you cast that, unless you are just on the verge of dying. And we already have a couple of ramp cards, so it's it kind of comes right on time. I'm not sure every deck can afford to play that. I think our deck will happily play it though. First we can cycle a this amount, which lets us hit our land drop easier if we need to. And again, we have 2 Cultivators plus a gift, so if there's a good deck for that, it should be a deck a little bit like that. Not, not probably not something like red-green beatdown that tries to aggro without any type of ramp, as an example. And anyways, there's nothing else, so I don't think it's even close. I think that card is good, but I don't know what it does. I don't remember what it does. I did not remember, and now I remember, and actually it's not that great. It's fine. I don't think it's gonna be very good in this deck though. There's a Sweet Mind Sensor. Synchronized Strike seems good. I don't think we are really in the market for Trick. I think we just want to make sure we hit our 5 and 7 and 8 drop. And yeah, I don't think this is a deck where we want tricks actually. This seems pretty good though, if you can cast it for 6, but do I really want that? It might even wheel. I'm not sure that there's another black-green player at the table. There could be because black-green is not wide open or anything. I don't know. Maybe I'm underrating that card, underestimating it. It doesn't seem crazy good to me though. Horror and Vizier are both fine. I kind of want to just pick Gift though. It might wheel. I think I'm gonna pick Pitiless Vizier. I need 4-drop, and again I think it's a very good card. Annoying to play against and efficient. Maybe the black green Aftermath card was better though. Not entirely sure. This is one of these cards that you really need to play and see, how it plays out before you know if it's good or not. Another Soul Stinger is not bad, especially since that card is not very great offensively speaking. It's not gonna beat down or anything. It's a pretty good way to defend yourself. They cannot really use a Reinvolve because otherwise you could just get the token. I mean the counters. It's very solid. I wouldn't be unhappy about running Evolving Wilds, though we don't really need that. Right now I really want 2-drops, but I think I haven't seen any 2-drop yet. I'm lying. We saw 1/3/1, but this is not even a 2-drop I would be very happy to run here. Yeah, it's just complete lack of 2-drop, which I'm not sure is just right now, just this draft, or in general black-green doesn't have a ton of 2-drop in this set. Not entirely sure. There's a Mummy here. Mummy's pretty bad, but we might have to run it just not to fall too far behind. I could see Stinging Shot being decent though. Maybe better than Mummy. Especially since when you are trying to cast 8-drop, discarding is a little bit more annoying. Like if we play against an aggro deck, they probably don't mind discarding a land because they don't need more than 5 or 6 land, where we do need more lands, and discarding is really not good for us. I think discard, despite being a 2-drop, is really not what we want. Spring Mine is fine if you are blue-green. I think if you are not blue-green, it's just not good enough, and we will not be splashing for Mind, obviously. So it's just a worse Gift of Paradise, which is already not that exciting. I think we're just gonna pick the shot. It can help defend ourselves early on. It's not a 2-drop, but it's not bad. Probably picking another Gift here. Flood Waters, I think it's very good. Gets rid of Embalmed Creature. But yeah, we'll pick Gift. This deck is really lacking 2-drops. Yeah. And it's not... Again, we had one shot at picking a 3-1, but it was very early in the draft, and the 3-1 would not even be that good. And other than that, there's like no 2-drop. Gus Walker is great, but we are not white. I don't really think we want a Kudu. A cool thing, though, that I just realized and not thought about before is that the Kudus and any creature that puts counter on stuff are really good with Cultivator, because you can just use Cultivator as, kind of... I don't know. No, I was gonna say something not very nice, but you can use it as a way to dump your counter and then sack it, which seems decent. But yeah, that seems like a decent synergy. I think picking another Cultivator here. Watchful Naga is decent. I think in general it's better. I think in this very deck I'd rather have Cultivator though. I don't think I care about anything here. I'm just gonna pick this sweet looking forest. Haze of Pollen. I could imagine main decking one as it cycles, and we are pretty defensive. Another Gift. Do we play 3 Gift, 3 Cultivator? It's probably not right. I think I'm just gonna... Serodon? No, we cannot cycle it. If it was, double colorless, I mean, colorless cycle, I would be more inclined to put that in the deck maybe, but not super excited right here. I'm just gonna pick the Swamp. I'm not gonna play a 3rd Gift. And I think with 3 Cultivators and 2 Gift we can afford to splash for that Electrify. We can use another Removal. That's a late Minotaur. Maybe we should have been red. I think we've seen a decent amount of good red cards this draft. But Beetle is great, and then we got the Archfiend and the Convergence. I think this draft is basically green black not being super open, but us opening a bunch of very solid bombers in green black, and this happened. I think the deck is fine. I'm not sure if you can really ramp like that in this set. We'll see how it goes, but it's probably fine. And since we can cycle, the curve is not as bad as it looks actually. I don't think this is a shed weakness deck. Well, we have a decent amount of creatures, a couple of 1-put count. Yeah, it's probably fine to play one of these. It's not super exciting, but fine. This we can cycle early if we need. This we can cycle too. Like if you put the cyclers at the place where we can cycle them, you realize the curve is not that ambitious. And again, we have a ton of ramp. By the way, I think we'll be playing 16 land, I would assume. 16 land plus 2 GIF and Cultivator might even be too much, but we need the 3rd mana for both Cultivator and Paradise, so I think we need the 16 land. I could even see going down to 15, but that seems a little bit too greedy. I don't think this is a Hooded Brawler deck. We don't want to beat down. We'd rather have the Kudus or the Scorpions to trade and block. And this is 24, so I think we'll just look a little bit at the colors, but I think it's pretty even. We have slightly more green. Green is slightly more important. I think we'll run 1 mountain and 8/7, yeah. Exactly what I thought. And this is gonna be deck Jund ramp, pretty much black-green ramp, but it seems decent. I mean, we have some very good late game, a little bit of removal. I'm worried about aggressive deck that could, beat us before we can do anything, but hopefully this will work out. Again, second draft playing the set ever, so we still have a lot to learn. But I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. Thanks for watching. Again, I encourage you to check out my channel if you want to see more draft, and I encourage you to check out the Manabase YouTube channel if you want to see other things. In any case, yeah, thank you for watching, and I see you for round 1.